Hello everyone, and welcome to the Literary Era News. I'm your host, Peter Postmodernism. Joining me tonight are Hollywood correspondent Melvin Modernism, meteorologist Tracy Transcendentalism, and political analyst Ronaldo Realism. We have a show of predetermined quality tonight that could be good or terrible, so I suggest you sit back, relax, enjoy the good parts, and ignore the bad ones. First, we go to Melvin Modernism with the Hollywood Life News. Take it away, Melvin.
Yes, Peter. I find myself here at a raging party on Hollywood Boulevard. I'm surrounded by a pool of people that I've never met before. The host of the party is said to be one Mr. James Franco, and no one is yet to see him. However, I keep hearing some pretty bizarre stories. I will reserve my judgments for when I meet him for myself.
Well, okay, Melvin, what have you learned from this party?
Well, it may surprise people to know that despite the seemingly meaningless glamour of Hollywood life, the stars and divas of Rodeo Drive can teach us all a lesson. Any one of them could rapidly dissipate into the abyss of C or even D-list stars, and that is truly frightening. Look at people like Bob Saget or Hilary Duff. While these stars used to be great in shows like Full House or Lizzie McGuire, they have since become next to worthless in their careers and may never surface into the limelight again. However, despite this depressing cycle of fame, fortune, and failure, the stars of Hollywood survive with one tool: hope. They survive the sad todays by dreaming of happy tomorrows. They envision their next big blockbuster and wait for their next big break. Some actors, such as Seth Rogen, simply write their own scripts in hopes of making another big hit. Others, like Neil Patrick Harris, take on countless cameo roles in other films in hopes of staying relevant in people's heads. The point is, Hollywood actors can all teach us the essential lesson that they all use to avoid going insane in Dante's Inferno, that is Hollywood. Hope. Well, cocaine, but mostly hope. Back to you, Peter.
Well, thank you, Melvin. Our next segment is Weather with Terry Transcendentalism. Take it away, Terry.
Thanks, Pete. Well, tonight is looking beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. With cumulonimbus clouds gathering off the west coast, we're looking at some glorious, all-natural rainfall tonight. And tomorrow, of course, should be dry and sunny, a perfect time to walk alone through the woods, stroll through nature, commune with God in nature. That is, of course, unless our government fat cats change the weather again. Every time a meteorologist is wrong, it's because the government is screwing with our glorious, perfect, all-natural weather patterns. Speaking of governments, they are just awful. The existence of governments is the greatest that has ever existed, Peter. They corrupt, they decay, they suck the blood of individuals like fat leeches.
Terry, can you talk about the weather just this once, please?
And religion is the same way. These organizations exist to subsume the individual into their collectives, make everybody just another cog in the machine, and I won't let them!
Thank you, Terry. You're fired. Coming up next, we have Ronaldo Realism with politics.
Thanks, Pete. Today, I sat in on a congressional meeting. The heads of each party had finally agreed to discuss the issue of the debt ceiling and search together for ways to fix the problem. Naturally, the first step was to insult each other and accuse each other of being fundamentally un-American in every single way.
Wait, that isn't the logical first step at all.
Trust me, it gets better. Soon, the other members of the parties joined in, throwing meaningless jabs at each other over whether or not Obama was mad at his wife. This caused a schism within the Republican Party, half of which believed in the butterfly effect, and the other half of which did not.
What on earth does any of this have to do with politics?
Wait. I believe they've made a decision.
Oh, well, thank goodness.
Yes, butterflies do in fact exist.
Dear God.
I know. I too am utterly baffled at this. And as soon as I raised the question, what about the debt ceiling? I was told that we were out of time and would have to reconvene at a later date. Such is life. Well, America's probably in some very deep trouble now.
To be honest, I don't even know how to respond to that. Thanks for the report, Ronaldo. Now, our main story tonight is one of those more unappetizing bits that I was telling you about earlier, so now would be a great time to go out and get some coffee, if you are predetermined to do so. We look at tonight the recent revolution in the country of Yugoslavia, where the old leadership has been overthrown, as they always were meant to be, by evil capitalist rebels. High General Koronos, the military commander and leader of Yugoslavia, was executed following the takeover of the city-state. So it goes. The new leaders of this city, the terrorists and rebels known only as the Cult of Champmatador, have cited the little-known American author Kilgore Trout in his appalling science fiction novels as the inspiration for their overthrow. Their leader, William Nomad, has been cited, saying, We always did this thing. We will always do this thing. Conquering this country is what we do at this time forever. A perfectly valid argument that forgives them of any wrongdoing in this situation. Don't you think, Ronaldo?
What? No, that's just wrong. They're terrorists, murderers, and criminals. You can't just say so it goes and shrug your shoulders and ignore everything. These are bad people doing bad things to good people, and that is not right.
They are monsters, Ronaldo. No one's disagreeing with that. But the thing is, you can't really blame them. They're just following their predetermined path through life, the same as any of us, the same as you and me. Can you really judge them for that?
Can I judge them? Of course I can! There's no destiny, Peter. No determined path. All you're spouting are your own delusions. Sometimes life is good, like when you're floating down the Mississippi River watching the clouds go by. But other times it's just bad, like when evil cults use the writing of insane authors to spark violent revolutions, and all you can say is, so it goes. You're insane, Peter. You're insane and you need help.
I forgive you for your hurtful words, Ronaldo, because I know that you are predetermined to say them.
This is flipping ridiculous. I quit!